the spirit of strength and witness its profound impact on our people and the world. Our doors are always open for business in a safe, secure, peaceful, and thriving environment. This peace and tranquility allows our people to express themselves freely, fostering a society of diverse ideas and opinions. Our people are ready and waiting to host you with beaming smiles and enchanting song and dance, driven by our
entrepreneurship and the development of SMEs. And this is for that reason that the European Union is extremely committed to support the government of Botswana in developing this new strategy. The current financial sector development strategy dates back a decade, even more. It expired in 2016, so we felt together with the government a real need to update the strategy in light of the new world, the changing environment. And this is why we have dedicated financial resources from a horizontal program that the European Commission is managing to work together to use the expertise actually of the World Bank and the IMF to develop this strategy. The World Bank and the IMF have been finalizing their current financial sector assessment, and we plan to continue supporting the World Bank now for the drafting and the elaboration of this strategy. We take it as a key document to secure diversification of the Botswanan economy, and this is one of the objectives that has been discussed at length during the whole session of today's Business Forum. So we very much count on the product that will be delivered. We remain happy and there to support the elaboration, and we will of course ensure delivery in our contacts with the Botswanan government to make sure that once elaborated, the strategy is implemented for the benefit of the private sector, SMEs, and growth and jobs in Botswana. Thank you.
Thank you, and I think that deserves a round of applause. Thank you. I think just bringing you in, Mr. Wang, around the work that has been done by yourselves in terms of developing this, or the work that needs to be done when it comes to the strategy development, just to give us a view of the financial services development strategy that you're working on.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be on the panel with the Madam Deputy Director General. Welcome to Botswana, a belated welcome. And of course, Alex, my friend, it's good to be with you every time I see you. I understand this is the last session. We're stopping you from going to the cocktail. So let me go directly to the point. The World Bank and IMF have this financial sector assessment program we carry out regularly across the world. Over the past year, the World Bank team and IMF, together with the counterparts at the Bank of Botswana, as well as the Ministry of Finance of Botswana, we carry out this assessment program. In a nutshell, the assessment program takes stock of where the soundness of the sector at this point, from both the policy framework point of view, as well as a lot of the data crunching or the quantitative assessment of the sector. Since the last financial sector assessment program was done in 2007, the outcome of this assessment is almost 15 years from the last one. It's a very positive one. The outcome of the assessment is that the financial system remains broadly resilient. There has been a lot of progress on the regulatory framework, on the supervisory framework. The system withstood the crisis of COVID fairly well, largely thanks to the policy measures that authorities, including Bank of Botswana, put in place, as well as the strong financial position the sector has been. The assessment also uncovered some of the further opportunities where the sector can do better. It includes access to finance by SMEs. That was a topic I think last session touched upon. It also includes digital finance, how the financial sector goes into the 21st century, but also long-term financing. I think it's in this context, Bank of Botswana, as well as the Ministry of Finance, requested our further work to develop a new financial sector development strategy for Botswana. And we thank the European Union for the generous support to support this important work. And I think today is a fitting moment that we announce, we formalize this trilateral partnership at the EU-Botswana Investment Forum. I think all of us are in this together, and we're all working together to support a what we call growing, inclusive, and stable financial sector for Botswana to underpin the broader economic growth for Botswana. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I think I'll bring you in, Mr. Khanetsano, around, firstly, the efforts that Bank of Botswana has made in terms of identifying that, we need to now develop our strategy and update it. So really just some words from you in terms of how will this assist in developing the market and addressing a lot of the key concerns you heard in the room today around where they believe there are gaps. So just a few words from you in terms of this new agreement.
Thank you, thank you, Salma, and good afternoon. I think a lot has been spoken, or a lot has been said about the development of the financial sector in Botswana. And I have just a few ways to say that, we all are aware of the transformation that the financial sector in Botswana has undergone over the years. And this is thanks to interventions by our government, together with our development partners such as the World Bank and the IMF. Many of you would recall that there was a study that was conducted in 1989 entitled Financial Policies for Diversified Growth. This study was conducted jointly by the IMF and the World Bank. That was in 1989. It identified several financial sector concerns to be addressed in a number of areas. That study was followed by a number of financial sector reforms that were in the main in response to the findings of that study. In 2007, the IMF and the World Bank again jointly carried out the financial sector assessment that was in response to the request by the government of Botswana. That assessment came up with a number of recommendations, detailed set of recommendations, one of which was to draw a comprehensive financial sector strategy reform plan, which today we know as the Financial Sector Development Strategy of 2012-2016. To date, many of the recommendations coming out of that strategy have been fully implemented. But why do we do this? Even though we acknowledge that the financial sector is developed, we are well aware that there are gaps that need to be addressed. And the way to identify the gaps is to call in experts from outside. Sometimes you conduct self-assessment, you tend to be lenient on yourself and you think that, okay, you are doing good. But once you bring in partners, experts from outside, who would come in without any favor or any fear, they'll be able to make an assessment and identify gaps. And that's why, in response to your question, we time and again look up to our development partners, the IMF and the World Bank, to say, can you please come and assist? These assessments are in demand, are in high demand. All the member countries of the IMF and the World Bank are queuing up for this kind of assessment. And indeed, we have been knocking on the doors of the IMF and the World Bank for a couple of years. We could not find a slot. Like I said, the last assessment was 2007. And that gave birth to the Financial Sector Development Strategy of 2012-2016. Between 2016 and now, we are in 2023. We are only able to get a slot last year in 2022. That goes on to show the level of demand for this kind of assistance. And we are just looking at two institutions, IMF and the World Bank. So today we are here, having conducted that assessment last year. And actually this reminds me of a headline in one of the newspapers a couple of weeks ago, which said, Bank of Botswana fails IMF assessment test. I was like, we never sat for any examinations, we never sat for any tests. we requested our development partners to come and assist us to identify the gaps. And we did that transparently. And actually the report is on our Bank of Botswana website. It's there for everyone to see. So we are going to address those gaps. The way to do it, we have now asked for assistance from our development partners to help fund another financial sector development strategy that we believe will outline or provide a coherent, pragmatic, and sustainable approach to the financial sector development. Having learned some key lessons from the last strategy, this is what we want to do. I remember in April, during the spring IMF World Bank meetings, we had a meeting with some of the senior officials at the World Bank talking about the very same issue of funding. One of the proposals was that maybe we should go 50-50. Government of Botswana provide 50% of the funding, because this requires a team of experts over a number of weeks or if not months to draw up such a strategy. So there was no conclusion from that meeting because, from our side we said our budget, we just emerged from COVID, our diamonds were not selling, the foreign exchange reserves had declined significantly. Where are we going to get the funding? We continued the dialogue even after the spring meetings, and today, thanks to the EU and the World Bank, we have committed to provide the necessary funding. Actually, when I was invited to this launch, I was told that mine will be just to say thank you. I would have said thank you and then left the stage, but I thought I should just highlight those to say this is an important milestone. And to the EU and the World Bank, we do appreciate your generosity. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we're happy you said more than just thank you. I think we should mark this commitment with a handshake, and I would like to urge some of the media houses to kind of help us, assist us in commemorating this launch of the Financial Services Development Strategy for Botswana. So if we can just commemorate this with a handshake. Thank you. Okay, thank you, panelists. All right. I think now the sessions have closed for the day, so please do join us for a cocktail, which is just right outside. It should be starting shortly. Thank you.
Of stability. We invite you to explore the spirit of strength and witness its profound impact on our people and the world. Our doors are always open for business in a safe, secure, peaceful, and thriving environment. This peace and tranquility allows our people to express themselves freely, fostering a society of diverse ideas and opinions. Our people are ready and waiting to host you with beaming smiles and enchanting song and dance. Driven by our rich history and cultural heritage, we are proud to share our stories with the world. Every narrative, every challenge, every effort, whether good or bad, shapes our collective identity. The beautiful, colorful, and alluring landscapes of Botswana welcome you. In this stable and majestic atmosphere, we safeguard our natural resources, preserving some of the world's most unique physical features. The sheer harmony between our people and nature is a testament to the sustainability and balance we